Hey, what is up guys? It's your boy Speed here, and today we're going to be talking about gameplay update 7.34e. I expected this to be a pretty big patch, to be perfectly honest, but honestly it's not that big. You can see it's just a couple of item changes, and then some gameplay changes, and that's it. It's really short, like really short. Seemingly mostly just nerfs to the broken heroes. I guess a couple of buffs here and there, but alright. Let's get into it. All right, before we get into the main part of the video, I do want to let you guys know that I'm not only posting videos here on YouTube, I also frequently post videos on the website. If you don't know what I'm talking about, almost every single day I'm posting a new video to the Game Leap website. We're going to teach you guys in depth about how to get to the next level. So if you want to become absolutely broken, click the link down below and sign up. So starting items, Eternal Shroud now gives 35% magic resistance, which is a really high number, but I'm pretty sure this item is not very good on almost any hero. It's just too selfish of an item, and the buildup is just terrible. Like, I don't know, it's just such a trash item. Midas got nerfed by 10 seconds, which is quite significant. Honestly, I'm not even a huge fan of Midas. I feel like the item was starting to fall off anyway, and now it's even worse. Not that it's bad, obviously there's some heroes that buy it, like Earth Spirit in tough games, Invoker, Arcward, and they should probably still continue to buy it, but yeah, it's obviously not nearly as good. Heart of Tarask is now 100 more gold, and it gives 5 less strength. I don't think this will completely dissuade certain heroes from buying it, and what's really interesting to me is that there was not a single nerf to Blade Mail. One of the most popular items of the patch just not even touched in these changes. Like, I would have expected the Blade Mail nerfs. Trying to think what else. I guess that's the main one. Yeah, I wouldn't say there was any other like truly broken items that I can think of. Mostly just Blade Mail and then a little bit of Heart. Maybe Midas, some people think, but eh. And then a Helm of the Overlord. So this is like the Beast item and the Lycan item, giving 1 extra armor. That's fine, that's nice. It's the Vlad's the aura, so that makes sense. And then Pavis, 2 seconds better. So can you still buy Heart? I would say yeah. I mean, 5 strength is a lot. That is going to hurt your HP pool and sometimes cause you to die, and so this is a significant nerf to Heart. The item was 200 gold cheaper 2 patches ago. Obviously it gives less strength now, but still on a hero like Primal Beast, you're probably still going to, or maybe Kunkka, you're still maybe going to buy a Heart in some games, you know what I mean? Like if it just, or Earth Spirit. If it fits the game and it's the item that lets you frontline, I don't see why you wouldn't buy it now. It's still solid with the Blade Mail, of course. And yeah, with Blade Mail not being nerfed, I would say the Blade Mail is partially the reason why Heart is so good. You know what I mean? I think that Blade Mail enables Heart because you need HP with Blade Mail, or you want HP with Blade Mail, so you can just kind of YOLO in and click Blade Mail. So for AA, the damage per second on Ice Vortex is less now by 6 at max, which is pretty significant. And they also nerfed the Ice Blast duration in the later levels. I don't think this makes AA irrelevant, only because it still does what it does, which is help you burst heroes. They did nerf Heart, which is part of the reason this hero was good. I honestly still think AA is pretty good. In terms of Bristleback, max damage decreased from 550 to 500. I guess that makes sense that there was a max, because you couldn't just like instantly kill Roche. They also nerfed the Bristleback, so that in the early levels in the laning stage, and Bristleback was already bad in the laning stage, the damage threshold was increased by 75, so it's much harder to get those passive quills out, and they do less max damage. This is particularly going to hurt, I would imagine, your ability to take Tormentor, finish off heroes with your Aghanim Scepter, and just in general kill people in lifesteal with your quill. So a lot of very significant nerfs to Bristle. And the hero's win rate in pubs was already not very good, and so honestly, I don't think you should play much Bristleback. Not that I think the hero is like useless, but for most people, they already weren't really winning with it, and now it's worse. So, and they nerfed the very strong level 20 talent. So heavy nerfs to Bristle. Maybe a little bit too much in my personal opinion. Chaos Knight lost 5 damage. That's a lot. And the lifesteal penalty against creeps increased from 40% to 70%. So you heal way less from creeps, which is a big part of the reason the hero is broken. It would never drop low with armlet when jungling. In the laning stage, you would fully heal. And in team fights, you could just run up to a creep camp and full heal in between the fight or during the fight. And so it was kind of insane. They also nerfed the mana cost on Phantasm up to 300 at max. Oh, it went from 175 to 300. That's kind of insane. I mean, the hero has mana problems, so that will hurt you a little bit. Damn, all right. Do I think CK is dead? 5 damage is so much. I don't know. It's not like they nerfed Armlet, which I think was like the key item for this hero, so I don't know. Maybe CK is still like all right. You know what I mean? It's probably just not like giga hyper broken, which is good. They needed to take it down a notch. Shadow Realm is now worse, so carry Willow is worse, support Willow is worse, the Ags build in general, this is a pretty big nerf. You still can do it, but it's not going to feel nearly as good. Bad Jutsu no longer affects any Blink Dagger's 3-second mute period after taking damage. So what this means is when you were playing Dazzle, if someone was canceling your blink dagger, basically you could click ult and just blink anyway. It's kind of like Tinker Rearm in a way, except you could just click Bad Juju and instantly blink and it doesn't have a channel time. And so you could just blink out of horrible situations with Dazzle. Now you can't do that, which honestly didn't come up that much in my games, but occasionally it would save the Dazzle. And so yeah, maybe it's a bigger deal than I think. My build on Dazzle started to become Ag's Blink, partially because the Blink was like a 4-staff, because you could just kind of save yourself with it. They buffed Drow slightly, I don't think she's good. Cooldown now begins when the current roll is completed. Wow, that's a decent sized nerf. It's gonna make it hard to chain stun people. Sometimes when you're canceling TPs, you would barely be able to cancel their TP after rolling on them. And maybe this makes a difference, right? Maybe people can just kind of TP out in front of your face now. So that's something I would keep in mind. If you're playing against Earth Spirit and he rolls on you, when it hits you, it's going to be a 4-second cooldown. So you can always do a 3-second TP. No, that's not true because it stuns you for, how long does it stun you for? It stuns you for 1.8, so that's not true. I guess you can't really still TP away from this hero, but it obviously makes it way harder for him to chase, especially if he takes a rolling boulder distance at level 10, it's just much harder for him to chase. Enigma, getting some cooldown on Black Hole in the early levels, same at max, but nice 20 seconds. I kind of think this should be what this hero receives because it just feels terrible. Like 200 seconds, even 180 in my opinion is like a little bit too long. Obviously the ability is incredibly good. It's 400 pure damage. It's a 4-second stun. You know, I understand why it's a long cooldown, but it's cancelable. You know what I mean? It's a cancelable spell. I don't know. Obviously, it's like kind of a free kill on anyone you click it on in the early game, but 180 just feels terrible. Like, it makes the hero feel a bit unfun to play. Aghanim Shard spell lifesteal now has a 20% penalty against creeps. So that's it. Really? I thought they would nerf this hero a bit more. I mean, to be fair, its win rate in pubs is not that good. I thought they would nerf it a little bit more. I thought they would kind of nerf the hard dispel maybe. But no, this hero is about the same. If you buy your shard, you can still save people from Fiend's Grip, or any stun for that matter. Whoa, okay. Gyrocopter getting a very significant buff to Rocket Barrage. 2 might not seem like a lot, but at level 1, that's going to make the difference. If you want to skill this ability in the laning stage, it's going to put a lot more pressure. Maybe it's a bit of a buff to support Gyro as well, helping him, scale a bit better and just trade better in the laning stage. So, a little interesting. Jug receiving some, Omni Slash bonus damage. It's good. 10 damage on Omni. It's going to help you finish kills. Kunkka, damage delayed decreased from 45% to 35%. Still pretty significant, but hey, 10% damage extra that you're taking now, even if you have Rum, is significant. Tidal Wave now does 70 less damage. Torrent Storm lasts 1 full less second from 5 seconds to 4 seconds, and the cooldown is 5 seconds longer, which is not the end of the world. I still think Kunkka's probably a pretty good hero, but, nerfing out the Ags a little bit makes a lot of sense to me. It was definitely broken. The Tidal Wave, the Shard, doing 250 damage a minute 15 on like a 10, it's still a 12-second cooldown. But yeah, I still think the hero's probably pretty good. It still is going to fulfill a similar purpose, just a lot less damage overall and a bit less save. Leshrac getting some slow buff to his Lightning Storm. Okay, 0.2 seconds at max is all right. Lion getting 75 cast range on Earth Spike is pretty damn significant if you ask me. That's going to really allow you to connect on the spell, especially pre-Blink Dagger. It's going to let you close the gap. So not a huge fan of the hero. I don't think this is going to truly change my mind on that, but it's not bad. Lycan got 2 base agility, which is nice. It's a universal hero, so that gives him like 1 damage for that, right? He gets like 1.3 damage, 1.2, 1.4 damage. I don't know, it's pretty significant. It's like a decent amount of damage. He also got some agi game, which is nice. Once again, it's a universal hero, so this helps him a little bit. Definitely good for his trading early on. Sidekick cast range on Marcy. Okay, that's not going to really change the hero. The Calling, thank God this spell's nerfed. Oh my God. What a BS ability. From 7-second duration at level 1 to 5, and at max it was 10 seconds, now it's 8, so 2 seconds less altogether on the Calling duration. It still will refresh if you get a kill during it, that's something to note. But here's the big thing, the movement speed's slow. Instead of being 30% flat, it's now 15, 20, 25, 30. Bringing it down to 15 at level 1 allows you to actually play against this hero in the laning stage. It's not absolutely broken. So yeah, definitely more manageable now, especially in the laning stage. Still going to be a decent hero in my opinion, but just not as broken in the lane. It was way too oppressive. Necrophos, one of the most popular cores of the patch. Mana cost on Ghost Shroud increased by only 25, that's not the end of the world. Heartstopper Aura regen from 8 seconds to 7, once again not the end of the world. Aghanim Scepter health regen to decay decreased from 60% to 55, not the end of the world. But the biggest thing I would say here is honestly, these changes are not that bad. The regen on Heartstopper Aura, yeah, it hurts, right? Obviously, because you're gonna lose quite a bit of HP and mana for this, but it's not the end of the world. It's what, like a 12-16% decrease or something. It's not terrible. And then the Death Seeker cooldown is 3 seconds worse. That's the Shard, which is very key for this hero's ability to move around fights and wave clear. So yeah, honestly, still pretty good. I don't think this really hurts Necro that much, and I would still pick the hero for sure. Primal Beast mana cost on Trample is now 90 flat instead of going from 90 to 70, 75 over time, getting better as levels progress, and now goes from 90 to, well, always 90. Pulverize cooldown increased by 4 seconds at each level. Not terrible, to be honest. And the mana on Trample, not the end of the world. The hero has mana problems, so I see their angle for nerfing the hero like this, but honestly, still going to be a very dominant hero. They didn't nerf Blade Mail. They nerfed Heart, but not by that much. Not by enough, I think, for how popular this hero was. And there's plenty of other builds. There's Blade Mail into Octarine, there's Blade Mail into BKB, there's Blink BKB, there's BKB Rush, there's Vanguard, you know what I mean? There's Lotus that some people do. There's a lot of different builds you can go on this hero, so yeah, I don't think this is that big of a deal. They nerfed the level 25 pulverized duration. Instead of being an extra 3 hits, it's now an extra 2 hits. Which, yeah, once again, I mean, sure, it's a nerf. It hurts the hero, but I don't think it's the end of the world. The hero still does what it does, which is play really high tempo, farm pretty efficiently. But yeah, most importantly, just be a frontliner and play high tempo. Okay, Shadow Shaman, damage amplification on Hex, increased by 5% at all levels. I don't know, I thought this hero would be decent, and it is pretty good in your average pub, but it just can't shine in high MMR. I think it's just too slow, too clunky, just not a good enough laner, which is weird, but just kind of feels that way. Spectre lost 1 armor, which is whatever, I think. Charge Darkness on Spirit Breaker is 1 second worse at all levels, which hurts him a little. The Aghanim Scepter cooldown increased. The Ags is nerfed as well. It's 1 second longer now. So if you buy Ags, it's a 9-second cooldown instead of 8. And then the damage multiplier against creeps was decreased by 20%. So bringing it back down to what it was in the past. I don't think Spirit Breaker was that broken. People really thought this hero was like hyper broken. I don't think so. I thought it was a pretty bad laner. In some games, it just doesn't do that much damage. Like if someone buys a pipe or like Glimmer supports, it has a very hard time killing them. So it can still push in waves, like that's kind of what it did, controlled the map, pushed in waves, played fast with the portals, but I don't know, I didn't find the hero to be like as broken as people really thought, and the win rate doesn't show that either, so I feel like the hero didn't need to be nerfed that hard, and it's probably still fine, but like this change basically makes it way harder to one-shot creep waves, and that's a big thing about this hero. You want to be able to one-shot creep waves. That's huge. Timbersaw got a major buff here. Stat loss percent on Whirling Death increased from 10% to 13%, so you reduced their stats by 3% more. I mean, that is a huge change. I mean, that is very significant. It's on all of their stats too. Tiny mana cost decreased from 120 to 90 on Avalanche. Not at all levels, 90, 100, 110, 120. It's gonna help his early game where he has very significant mana problems, so that's nice. Treant Protector lost 5 movement speed, which is annoying, but not the end of the world, and 5 Leech Seed damage heal. I don't know, I still think Treant's okay. Like, the hero's win rate was so good, especially in high MMR games, where I don't think this is gonna really take him out of the picture. Gemini attack cooldown increased from 7 to 8.5 at level 1. Same at max though, but definitely worse, especially at level 1. A little bit less spammable for Harass. The Wyvern base heal on Cold Embrace is now 10 better at each level. Pretty good spell, honestly, at level 1. If you just want to heal your teammates, it's like a 200 heal. I honestly think the way to play this hero is to take Q at level 1, which got buffed really hard, and then take E at level 2 and just heal. Yeah, I don't know. Don't think Wyvern's that bad. Now that this ability, I mean, it just heals for an extra 40 now. It's pretty nice. No, don't. Oh my god, they nerfed my stun build, damn. So damage multiplier against creeps decreased from 2 times to 1.5. Ah, it was so fun to one-shot creep waves with Cask. Now, I don't know, now I think this hero is not good. Honestly, the biggest reason this hero was good is you can max Cask, which was like your best fighting ability because of how good it is now, and it was also your farming tool. So like, it was so useful, right? It was just it was an incredible ability to max, and I love playing this hero as offlane. But now I don't know if I'd want to, because like, it's gonna make it way worse at farming neutrals and killing off waves. Like, it would one-shot waves, now it probably won't. You're gonna have to like auto-attack 5 times or some crap, and it's gonna get you killed and make you inefficient. You know, so I don't know, this kind of hurts a lot. I feel like it's what made the hero fun, and they could have nerfed it in other ways. I like the fact that it could max Q and be like really versatile, which maybe people think is too broken. The hero's win rate was obviously good. They technically buffed Death Ward, where it now prioritizes heroes instead of creeps, which is kind of cool. That's nice. You don't have to like retarget it. Because you can retarget Death Ward, right? You can change who it's attacking by just right-clicking on people. And it can target creeps, so I guess noobs would like ulti and Valve noticed noobs with like ulti creeps or something, which is kind of funny. And then finally, Wraith King skeleton damage decreased by 3, which, you know, they do 34 instead of 37. I don't think that's too bad. I would still pick this hero for sure. But okay, honestly, I'm gonna keep it real, guys. Underwhelming patch. I would love to say big things. I would say Bristleback, don't pick him. AA, you could still pick him, still by heart. I would shy away from Midas personally. CK, you can still play CK if you played him. He's just not hyper broken. Earth Spirit, a little bit worse. Anything stand out? The gyro damage is interesting. You're gonna do a lot of damage, especially at level 3 if you want to go Barrage. I would still say you can pick Kunkka. Lycan's interesting, but nothing crazy. Muerta as a support is way worse. I would still pick Necro. I'd still pick Primal. I'd still pick Spectre. I'd still pick... No, Spirit Breaker, I don't think I would play him as core. I wouldn't want to play him as core. It's going to be a little bit too hard to farm. Timber, pretty significant nerf, a buff on the Q. Tiny, significant buff on the Avalanche, but I don't know, is that really going to make a meta? It helps. It helps. It lets them spam Q. Like, you know, you go QE and you can lane with that. I think Tiny's not a terrible hero, honestly. Maybe Wyvern is interesting, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm not going to lie, guys. Pretty disappointed. Pretty disappointed, because when was the last patch? The last patch was D, which was like a month. I guess it was only a month and something ago. But D wasn't even a huge patch, right? D was pretty big. I guess D was pretty significant. I don't know. I feel like maybe you guys have the same opinion as me. I don't know. I'm not that impressed. I'm not particularly blown away by the patch. I feel like them not touching Blade Mail is kind of weird. I feel like that item should have been nerfed a little bit. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. Let me know what you think the broken heroes are and what heroes you will shy away from now. I would shy away from Spirit Breaker and Bristleback. That's my take. Maybe Witch Doctor I would shy away from too. He's going to scale well still with his ulti at the end of the day. And like, if you play him support and you didn't farm, well, to be fair, you should have been farming. This is like a farming support if you maxed Q. Now it still is, but way less so, obviously. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed. Hopefully you learned quite a bit. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.
And that's all, but remember, before you leave, come on, before you tune out, subscribe to the Game Leap website where we are going to help you get to the next rank. If you're stuck, click the link down below, and I'm out. Peace.